Okay, come on. Okay, you are watching the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas. It is September 11th, 2014, and what it is actually, it's 9/11, and we're going to talk a little bit about that a little bit later on. But tonight on the Convergence Report, we will be talking about 9/11, this week's who's in and who's out for the municipal election, as we're getting down to the deadline for nominations, and of course, as there was a little bit of stuff on the news today in regards to the lame duck council, the lame duck mayor, and we'll talk about that. And of course, I just call it my local stuff, whether or not take a look at the local sports, what's happening in the last week, and of course some of the local stuff that's upcoming. So that's what we're going to talk about tonight on the Convergence Report. You are watching the Convergence Report through XE's TV with Knockstrom Digital Media. And that's we are live stream. We are, and we consider ourselves to be the best live stream or the best internet show in Windsor, Essex. And we definitely, we bring you the best, whether or not it's the Convergence Report, whether or not it's Betty and a Go with Betty Goodell, or Beyond Incredible with Ashley Nicole and Shay Rochelle. And of course, we're Jock Talk with Brett Hedges. But that is, again, the best local programming. We also tell thanks for watching live. The best to see me is live, but if you kind of want to see a repeat of it, or you've missed the show and want to see it, you can watch us on YouTube on the Knockstrom channel. We tell you to please subscribe to our YouTube channel, as we are moving it up and trying to bust through the 30,000 view barrier. So we're very, very proud of that accomplishment since XE's TV and Knockstrom Digital Media has been on the air. And of course, like us on Facebook. I kind of drag myself into the social media side of it, whether it's Twitter or Facebook. We want you to check out Knockstrom Digital Media on Facebook, and that's where you can also, you want the quick live stream. It's showing right there, right now, whether or not it's on our website, but for sure it's on Facebook. And of course, check me out, the Convergence Report with Mike Thomas on Facebook also. And this is what it's all about for me. Being converging all that social media together, watching what's happening throughout the day. I call it Facebook karma, because if I saw that, you're going to see that, and that's really how my day begins, as far as what's trending, what's happening, what's popping up. And of course, I call it the control of it all as being the thought police, because if they don't want it up, it doesn't stay up very long. And but you see everybody jockeying. Okay, you see the Twitter people. I wasn't going to talk about Rob Ford today, but here Rob Ford we're talking about, and we're doing some kind of medical trek of where he's moving around all day long because of the recent diagnosis of having a tumor. And then you got these people talking about it here, and they got big medical reports there, and it's all being followed immediately, every step of the way on Twitter. And I just find that truly, I find how much that has changed as far as what the news feeds are. But that brings me down to it, because the biggest buzz of the day, or what the biggest buzz feed of the day is to never forget, talking about 9/11/2001. And of course, for most people, what they're saying is, where were you? What has happened? What is your remembrance of it? They want you to never forget, so tell us your stories. And that's what was being asked by all the news agencies. A lot was on Twitter, quite a bit was on Facebook, again, depending upon what feeds you were following. And I put my own flavor to it, okay, because I was there happening around in 9/11/2001. I was, and I'll say it this way, at that time, a few years ago, I was a General Motors employee working out of the Windsor plant, the Windsor transmission plant, and it was like new, as far as, like say, I kind of worked in an office complex. Everybody had computers, and the internet was coming. Don't forget, it's been about 2-3 years into it. Even General Motors, as a large corporation, was developing an internet system, and so people could watch what was going on quite immediate. And it was just a simple news story around break time that a plane had hit the towers, hit one of the towers, and nobody paid much attention to it. They kind of said, "Holy cow, how dumb was that pilot? Gee, how could he miss that? How could he hit that building?" Everybody was trying to figure it out. Life was just going on. It really just was. It was like just a normal plane accident. Okay, that you would end up seeing on that Mayday show on cable, right? That's all people really thought it was, until it was a few minutes later when all of a sudden the second one hit. And when the second one hit, it took a whole different flavor, and it really did kind of pick up, or kind of mess up the day. And now the scramble had begun, because, okay, if this was truly an attack, that the jets were sent up in the sky, we did not know about the Pentagon at that point in time. We did not know about the other plane that was hijacked that they had to take down, and we didn't know about those things yet. But we knew something was up. And again, working for one of the larger major corporations in North America, they saw that they actually did. If they didn't have an emergency plan, they had some semblance of an emergency plan. And it really came out of the General Motors side of it. They thought they did not know if the Rensen, the office tower, Marriott Westin complex of the day, whether or not that was going to be a target. So they were pulling all their people out of there, and to the point in time that it looks like they were shutting down the plants for the day. Nobody knew what was going on. Nobody knew what the next step was going to be. A lot of the people that left their workplaces that day didn't know. You weren't even told you were coming back to work tomorrow, because we did not know the true ramifications of what was happening in this world event. Okay, so that is really, when they say it was a game changer, it definitely was the game changer. And as being on the Canadian side of it, you're kind of looking at, there was a lot of animosity, a lot of strained relations between Canada and the U.S. that immediately followed. Plane traffic changed greatly, and it took a great long time before borders were trusted again, before nobody wanted to travel. I just remember how cheap it was. You're talking about how expensive it is nowadays. You couldn't get anybody to fly. Nobody was going to Florida, and I think one of the first trips I ended up taking my wife and kids on, I think it was in 2002, and it was such an extraordinary deal for a family of four to fly down to Florida for a week stay at the Howard Johnson for $1,500, because they were trying anything to get people to travel again. That's how much the world changed, and we've kind of gone back a little bit. The tensions still remain. Whether or not it's just a new group, we got it. We've got Bin Laden. We've thought we've made it better, but yet the tensions still across the world remain going back. So they tell you never forget, and that really is one of the main facets of what was happening today. So following it on Twitter, of course, what they say, breathtaking photo. Tribute in light. So it was the 13th anniversary of 9/11. It was captured by Gary Hirshhorn, and they have the tower, the light streaming up where the towers would have been if they had not been, they have not collapsed due to the planes crashing into them. So it was a really kind of a neat anniversary photo that was shown last night. It was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. So that really how the day began, as far as people finding which ways they remember what happened, or were they around, or based upon what their remembrances of 9/11 were, and never to forget those things and tell those stories. Okay, so I won't forget. I remember where I was exactly. So talking about who's in, who's out, because we're right down to the deadline. The deadline is tomorrow, and we're trying to see, okay, what's going on. We did talk a little bit about John Milson. He joined the race last week. Two more since then. I really don't have a lot of background. As now, it's 11 people running for mayor. Jason Vector, Ronald Van Dyck, both put their names forward. They're also going to run. Ronald Van Dyck does have a website that you could follow, so some have doing that. And I said the exact same thing. I'm going to say the same thing this week as I said last week. We're in a free democratic society. I totally get that. Okay, but the Windsor Star poll. Let me see if I can find it. The Windsor Star poll itself that they did last week, it's closed now. It's actually closed now. So the two newest candidates aren't on that poll. But you're kind of looking at, say, the fringe candidates, Raymond Poisson, Tim Dugdale, even Mike Tessier, Henry Lau, and Robin Easterbrook, big time. If you only want to go to true fringe, they didn't receive very many votes. The total votes, it looks like to me, was 130 total votes between the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candidates out of a potential 2478. And again, this poll now being closed down. I think it was closed down sometime after it went up, then went down pretty quick. You're looking at Ernie the Bacon Man after that, 156, which is about 6% of the vote. You know, Ernie's not going to take his name down, but you just kind of wonder why people want to put their name up there. I don't know what with 11 people running for mayor, I don't understand it. Truly thinking that you have a chance to win. I guess anybody has a chance to win if you put your name up, but I don't understand it. Third place, they call it, it was kind of, and again, this is just it's just a basic straw poll. Okay, Drew Dilkins came in at about 20%. They did not change. He started at 20% right off the bat and kind of stayed that way the whole time. And with he kind of popped at 685 votes, or 27, almost 28% of the actual poll vote. And of course, Milson came in at 41%. So that's really where it began, and that's where it remains today as far as who the mayor, who is running for mayor, and it hasn't changed all that much. But that is where we're at as far as the mayor goes. For councillor in Ward 1, David Hanna has put his name forward, and I don't know, I've been trying to follow Twitter and trying to see what any last-minute names have come before the closing of time. Ward 9, Ryan Sprague, he has added his name to it to make it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people running in that particular ward. And we had one drop-off. I was hoping to 10 for 10 in Ward 10, where Magne is the incumbent. But Cale FC McNeil has taken his name down, so he is not running anymore. So we're down to about 8 in that one. So I pretty well think that's where we're going to end up as far as all the different candidates as we go forward. And we're bringing it right down to the last little bit in regards to who's left now going forward to be the next mayor, the next council. And saying all that again, kind of just change the flavor a little bit again. I think they're saying they believe they've been watching this one all day because Eddie Francis again wanted to have one last more meeting in regards to what was going to happen with Catholic Central High School or a new downtown high school and some of the things that he wanted to do. And he tried to organize one more last meeting before 2 o'clock tomorrow. It didn't transpire. It did not happen. So therefore, that part of it is, it looks like that they're that close to being lame duck status that they're not going to be able to have any more meetings and or make any more decisions. And they basically said, well, that really wasn't making a decision anyways. But they say that, and I don't know what they say. Why rush? Why was there so much rushing to get some of these things done, or some of the things on Eddie Francis' agenda done? And that's really what the push was. It quite looked like that. So finally, we're probably, hopefully, in lame duck mayor status. Let's get to October. They said they canceled the meetings on September 22nd and October 20th, so they're done. Those meetings have been canceled. And so they cannot spend more than $50,000. They can talk, but they can't expenditures of more than $50,000 if they haven't already been budgeted. So they can discuss some of those things. And I think that was some of the push in regards to what Francis wanted to do. So if we could get it with it here, then we can still talk about it. We still move on. But really, let the and I'm sorry, it's only a month, I guess. Maybe it's not a little bit more than a month, but maybe it's 6 weeks. Let the new council, let the new mayor start dealing with the issues going forward for the taxpayers, and that's what I call them. WF, see you later, Eddie. Okay, and start your new assignment at the credit union and try to justify to that membership why you belong there. That's a whole another issue for a whole another day. And I do point out, I'm just going to get my notes here really quickly. And this was really kind of a big deal for us, for XE's TV and Knoxham Digital Media, as wedding show, the wedding event, or the wedding shows Windsor. We've just made some arrangements that XE's TV is going to be live streaming the fashion shows there along, and we're going to be there. We're going to be interviewing people and talking to people, and we're going to be all around that wedding event. That is going to happen on September 17th and 18th, next Wednesday and Thursday at the Kubota Club from 5:30 to 9 p.m. So we're really looking forward to be part of that huge event. You can get your $2 coupon for the fall wedding show event at weddingshows.com, September show. So kind of search that on the web, and that we can do that. And so Wedding Shows Windsor, weddingshows.com. So therefore, that's what you want to be good. Again, we can't wait to be there. We can't wait to be part and parcel of that particular event. So we're definitely hoping for that to be a lot of fun for XE's TV. Okay, put that one to the back. And again, of course, I'm trying to say I kind of incorporate some. That's the local flavor I talk about for the show. Again, the best local programming there. But I've also, I kind of keep everybody updated for the Spitfires and their 40th anniversary, 1975 to 2015, as they're getting the season going. The preseason games are happening. They played last night to the Sarnia Sting and lost 3-2. They called it a shutout loss. They had a shootout loss. A winning goal scored by Jordan Kiru. Justin Fazio made 19 wins for the save for the Sting. And what happened was they said they had quite a few rookies playing last night, and that's basically what they had. And he scored a goal from Ryan Foss. Alex Fotino, who slotted in to look like he's going to be the number one goaltender, working hard with the goalie coaches, and he made 26 saves on his second consecutive start in the preseason. And the Spits head to Sarnia Friday again to take on the Sting in the back of this home series. And they were perfect. They were perfect on the penalty kill, no doubt. And what they definitely wanted everybody to know, and like the way we lost 3-2, big thrill. But they definitely had 5 players ahead of the NHL, which were Marcus Soberg for the Columbus Blue Jackets, Brady Vale for Carolina, Christian Diajacinto for Tampa Bay, Patrick Sanvito for Dallas, and Josh Hussein for the New York Islanders were all on their way to their camps and weren't able to play. So we're definitely going to be keeping an eye on the Spitfires again, because it looked like to date what has happened is Warren Reichel, president and general manager of the Windsor Spitfires, is trying to put together a team with a little bit of youth and a little bit of experience, and hoping to make again he wants to make another run for the Memorial Cup, or at least a longer, a lot more fun playoff run for the fans and for the Spitfires as he's trying to develop that type of team. So we're going to definitely be looking forward to that at the end of the day, and that's what we'll be watching. We keep a close eye on that through localsportsreport.com. And this is what I showed. I showed this one last week, Monday Night Football, and we were all looking forward to it as far as the starting of the season, for the Monday night season anyways, that the games were all held on Sunday, the Thursday game first, and then all the games on Sunday. But we were looking forward and to us it's local. I always call it, say, we in Windsor, we do follow the CFL. I love following the Hamilton Ticats. There was a fabulous Windsor Lancer game on the weekend also, with the Windsor Lancers, as we're kind of get convoluted here for a sec. Windsor Lancers got a game back from Queens because they had an eligible player. So now the undefeated Windsor Lancers had a stunning victory last week. That was really neat to watch. But that all brings us back to the Monday night game, where the Lions fulfilled the expectations of the fans with their brand new coach, Jim Caldwell. And we are working hard with Matt Stafford, and I've seen it. I saw him twice making interviews. I was very impressed with them, first of all, and everybody tries to make a joke of this, but no, as they tried to add a little maturity to Stafford. When he was one on interview right after the game was done, he was wearing a hat. It was on frontwards, which was great. And when he did the large media scrum after that, he didn't wear a hat at all, which was really neat. And he just kind of left his hair the way it was. And we definitely like seeing that side of Matthew Stafford, seeing that maturity. He brings that maturity to the media, to the scrums. He's bringing that maturity to the field, and that's what we kind of saw last week at the game, as far as finding the open man, throwing the good passes. Not those passes that kind of finished off our season prematurely last year with those kind of third down, throw it in the middle, hope for the best type of interceptions that were happening. But that's what we were kind of looking at. And so there was a great game. And I have to say at the end, I could make myself move around. I was showing this shirt. So I was out there in the midst of all the tailgaters, in the midst of all the fun last Monday, out there having some fun, and I bought the parking lot T-shirt for $10, great deal, and one of the best looking ones they said out there. All the Monday night games were on the back, but of course it was for Detroit Lions and the New York Giants, 35-14, and we had a great day. It was the Stafford throwing 22 of 32 for 346. Johnson, you couldn't have any much for watching Johnson being wide open first for one touchdown. Dying with that beautiful Calvin Johnson catch for one of the other touchdowns to get the game, getting the game going, putting it away, and also a couple of other great Calvin Johnson catches and near catches, as he almost had the one. I think he just kind of bounced around and dropped at the last minute. But it was a great game. It was great watching Ebron. It was great watching Bush and watching. Joik Bell got a touchdown right at the end of the game to make it 35, and the defense played great, kept that up there. They and kept Eli Manning in check with a couple interceptions. So it was completely different from that game that we had at the end of last season. I know the morale was down a little bit by that point in time, but this was a great way to start the season across the board. And looking at some of the things, they said some of the critical moments of the game was leading 20-7, okay, and then the interception by Grover Quinn. He returned it to the 16-yard line, which was fantastic. Critical moment number 2 was the 12-play, 80-yard drive that took 7 minutes off the clock. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see the bang, bang, bang and giving the ball back. You want to see that good, long, sustained drive that finishes off a game. So they did really, really good. And, of course, they say the play of the game was 67-yard touchdown pass to Johnson, which, again, it was just beautiful. And, yeah, the road, and they crossed, and the two guys in the secondary banged into each other and fell down. We don't care. He threw it. He caught it. He ran it in. It was fantastic. So, of course, the player of the game was Megatron himself, Calvin Johnson. So it was a fabulous, fabulous day for football in the Windsor, Detroit area. We definitely liked watching that. It was fantastic. Okay? And, again, I just got a picture. Okay, and then behind me over my shoulder, okay, Calvin Johnson, okay, a little bit of Calvin love there, so a little Megatron love there. It was excellent. I also met my fantasy team, so that was also fantastic as far as I was kind of looking at it. And, I kind of have this little sneaky one up at the back behind me. It's called Save the Date, and that is just kind of letting people know in advance of what, as we're going forward in the fall. We can't believe that fall it's here. Man, school, they've been back for a week already. It's unbelievable. And it's letting people know it's a Take Back the Night. And they're asking all the women, any women interested in getting involved with Take Back the Night. They have a Tuesday, September 16th at the Welcome Center Shelter. They have a meeting there. This is on this 263 Bridge Avenue from about 5 to 8 p.m. for a warm meal, great company, and to decorate mason jars so they can blaze their path while reclaiming their voices and taking back the night down to the downtown core. And of course, and it's all about violence against women, and there's no more timeliness than what we've had with the Ray Rice incident and the NFL and the Baltimore Ravens, and we've seen what happened there, as has been really extremely highlighted. So it definitely will highlight this particular issue. Violence can win. We want to definitely bring that to the next level, as this can't happen anymore. So they have 2 starting points, and they want everybody to know about that. One from the West End, 263 Bridge, okay, at the Welcome Center itself, and of course Windsor Youth Center on Wyandotte Street East. And what they want to do is they're going to leave each location at 7 and do the big merge at Alette and Wyandotte by 7:30 to take back their city from both directions. And feel free to meet us anywhere along the march. If you just want to join in halfway through, you can. And again, so it's very, very important to participate in these events, especially trying to make great change in this crazy world that we still live in. You wouldn't think. So, and there's my little buddy, okay, Captain Webb. I got 1 minute left to go. I always tell people, launch the blog, and look for the blog on localreports.com. And again, I'm just kind of emphasizing liking us on Facebook. We're going to have a little bit of shorter version today of the Convergence Report because we're going to be back up with Betty on the go with a great interview with Carolyn Postma, who's seeking the seat in Ward 3 for councillor. So that is going to take us to the end on this 9/11 Convergence Report. And again, never forget and do talk about it. Do talk about it and do the history and to remind your kids and remind everybody the importance of that event and how it has significantly changed the world to this day. Okay? I will see you next week. I am Mike Thomas. You have been watching the Convergence Report.